So in this case study, I'm going to go over how I was able to build a brand from zero to over $250,000 in revenue with about 20% profit margins. And obviously, as you can see, we started this brand around Jan 20th. We went live, and then from there it's just been up. Obviously with a few hiccups. Let me just refresh the page. Of course, no fake results right here. Let me refresh it a second time. So yeah, first of all, we need to debunk some myths about the dropshipping space and kind of like get over the misinformation that's been pushed out there by many gurus and just feeding us the wrong information. So obviously back in 2023, like we would just do a normal Shopify store with random AliExpress products, general Shopify stores without trust, like as you can see here, I've got an example. This store doesn't really scream to you it's a brand. It more screams that it's literally just a dropshipping store. But when we look over here, as now we run funnels. As you can see, this looks much more branded and much more catered to our customers' desires and also our customers' persona, which is very important. And obviously back in 2023, we'll just test 5 to 10 products a day, just pumping out volume. But in reality, we want to go for quality instead of volume. So now we only test about 1 to 2 products a day at the most. And of course, before, we never used to use any advertorials or branding. As you can see, like just looking at this, it just screams to you like it's a dropshipping store. Like there's no trust, there's no, it's got some reviews and stuff, but it just more screams like if you want the product, you can buy it. But here, we go into more about the customer's emotions and the problems that they're dealing with and how this product can solve their problems. Because at the end of the day, the customers don't just want to buy the product, they want to buy the solution for their problem. For example, this is a foundation product. So, a lot of older women may have wrinkles and stuff and they want to use the foundation to get rid of the wrinkles. So then we can obviously use that as one of our advertising angles. Or of course, there's many other angles, but that's where we dive deeper into the advertising side and, kind of getting with the customers' angles and personas, and whatever works, we sort of double down on it. Now, of course, we still run Facebook ads because Facebook is always king. A lot of people tell you about TikTok ads and Google ads and all of this stuff, but what I realized in my time of e-commerce is the grass ain't green on the other side, man. Like you might see this guy doing Google ads and you're thinking, oh wow, let me pivot over to that. But that's just shiny object syndrome. We don't want to just be jumping from one hustle to another. We want to stay at one thing and persist at it. Of course, you have to optimize, If things aren't going well, then you always need to reevaluate your situation. Just like I've done in the past, with doing these sorts of stores, and it didn't really work out for me. So that's when I kind of pivoted over to doing funnels with Funnelish. And of course, this is technically branding each product as its own brand. And I'm going to get more into that later in the video. But of course, the main reason why we also use funnels is, one, it's much more customizable than Shopify. So with Shopify, even if we wanted to make an advertorial page, there's not much really we can do to it. Like it's very limited to our customization. Another reason is that with funnels, it's literally only that product. The customer can't browse around your store. They can't look at your store and think, like, do I want to look for another product, or just look around the store to see if it's a legit store. And then by the time they've done that, they've probably lost interest in a product and then they're not going to buy from you. We just want people to look at our product, brand it as much as we can. As you can see that with here, even the product name is actually our brand logo. So it's more catered to that specific product and the problem that the customer's dealing with for this product. Facebook is obviously going to target those people. And then obviously that just leads to a much higher conversion rate. With funnels, usually for winning products, we're around a 3 to 5, possibly 7% conversion rate, which obviously the higher your conversion rate, the more profit you're going to make. So that's a couple reasons why we use funnels over Shopify. And of course, yeah, some people still do Shopify stores, but from what I've seen personally and with my students, that the normal Shopify general stuff, it doesn't work anymore. Like, it's 2026, you have to optimize much more to look like a brand. You don't just want to look like this guy and just scream, oh, I'm a drop shipper. You want to look like this store and just show the customer that you're a brand. And like this isn't something that takes years of thinking, you know. These funnels take a couple hours to build, and we obviously outsource that to a funnel builder. So that's obviously how we're able to test 1 to 2 products a day, because we're outsourcing these boring tasks and we're just focusing on the high tasks, like finding winning angles, finding winning stores and products. And I'm obviously going to go into that later into the video. But what I will say is that a lot of people online and gurus, they're pushing this like general dropshipping and fashion and stuff, and they're charging high ticket to teach you these very basic things that you can find on YouTube. And what I would say is just be careful, because I've been there, I've done that, and 2025, 2026, those stuff don't work. So yeah, let's get into who the customer is and why they're gonna buy from us. Now, I was scrolling Facebook and I was thinking, who are the customers and why do they actually buy from us? So I was scrolling Facebook and I found this woman called Teresa commenting on a funnels advertisement, and obviously she looks about 58 years old, probably loves scrolling Facebook. Maybe she's retired or she's got a good high paying job. And these people just have an addiction to scrolling Facebook. The thing is with Meta ads compared to Google is that people on Meta are not actively looking for your product. That's why your ad is the main thing that needs to stand out for them to stop scrolling, because they're in a constant scrolling addiction. And what we want to do is focus on why that they're going to buy from us, and also what's going to make them stop scrolling and break that cycle for them to then go onto our funnel. Now, obviously, as you can see, older people, their attention spans aren't going to be as fried as us younger people. Like, just say it how it is, you know. So with this kind of audience, we more go for the long form ad copies, because they have the attention span to actually sit down and read it and sit down and go through why this product can solve their issue. And we might give a story on like a previous customer or something along those lines, or testimonial. And obviously that's going to break the cycle of them scrolling, because at the end of the day, we want them to stop what they're doing and literally lock into our ad and realize that they need this product. And then of course, once they've gone from the ad to the website, that's when we have the advertorial page in place to then go through. Either if it's a top funnel advertorial page where we give a story on, a past customer, or it's a bottom funnel and we just list out benefits of the product and why they need this product. So yeah, to be honest, who are we selling to? Mainly older people, ages of 40 plus, because that's predominantly Meta's audience, like Facebook. A lot of us younger people don't scroll on Facebook. And obviously, I know it does target Instagram, but most of the purchases do come from Facebook. So yeah, mainly targeting older people, and we want to cater to their persona, whether that's with the ad copy, also the funnel. It all needs to cater to their persona and their age group. Now, our main question is, how do we find products and winning competitors to then see what they're doing and take it for ourselves and optimize it and put a bit of a touch on it? So a lot of gurus would say use this tool and this tool so they can get an affiliate, but I'm not going to do that. Facebook ads library completely for free. There's no need to pay for any scammy tools. It's literally all on the Facebook ads library. Now we're obviously going to use keywords such as 50% off, because a lot of other competitors are using this word 50% off. There's many others like free shipping, say goodbye to, the solution to, or the solution for. What I would also recommend is looking at competitors, breaking down their ad copy, and then once we do that, we can see what's the main keywords that we can see with all these competitors, and then we can use those keywords in the ads library, and then we'll find more winning competitors, and then that's how we just build a whole sheet of 100, 200, 300, 500 winning stores. And then every week we're checking over these stores, which products look like they could be winners. And then obviously we start off with EU research. Now obviously the reason why I recommend this for beginners is we can validate products literally just by the reach. So obviously if a specific ad has got more than 10k reach on it and it's been active maybe a few weeks or so, then we know that they've spent quite a bit on this ad. And also with obviously the time length, we don't want to take ads that's been there more than a month or a month and a half. And then we want to obviously, change the ad a bit to kind of cater to our audience. And obviously we don't want to rip it one-on-one, because, we can have problems with the competitors and stuff. So we obviously want to optimize it. And that's where your marketing and your editing needs to come into play. But of course, if you're bad at these stuff, you can always outsource someone online jobs. And to be honest, that's really what I do, because I'm not the best at this stuff. Now I'm going to show you how we actually find these competitors. So I've literally just gone on Denmark and got 50% off in Danish language. And literally I was literally scrolling the ads library for 30 seconds and we found this winning competitor. Now as you can see, they're using top funnel ads. So these ads aren't showing the product. They're not showing the benefits of the product, but they're showing a picture with the pain point. And then of course these are the long form copies. This copy isn't that long, but sometimes it's much longer telling a story. And then once we've clicked on the ad, we come to the advertorial. And this is sort of like the kind of products we're looking for. They solve a problem here. This person's dealing with, I think, some sort of shoulder pain. Or no, it's a shoulder massager actually, to deal maybe with pain, or they just want a massage, And obviously they can just buy this product for maybe 30 euros or so. And then that solves their problem. They don't need to keep going to a massage, paying, hundreds of euros, and, they have to actually travel there, and it's obviously much more convenient for them. And as you can see with the advertorial, it just goes through, pictures on why, and solves their problem. Maybe their shoulders hurting and stuff. And this is where AI comes into play as well. So obviously to build these things, we usually use like ChatGPT and Claude AI and stuff. And this is obviously, as you can see, it's much more branded to the product, Like as you can see, the label for the product, the logo, is literally for the product. It's not like a random store logo. It's more catered to this product. It's fully branded. The product is fully branded. It's pretty much just a one product store. And this is what's working in 2026. Like anyone telling you fashion dropshipping, they're just selling you a dream, bro, and they're going to make you lose out on a lot of money and a lot of time. So I would highly recommend not doing that. But obviously, so this is kind of what I'm doing with my students, and this is how I've been able to go from zero to over $250,000 with a brand new store. As you can see, I'll show you one more time. No fake results out here. We even done a 10k day with about 20. I think that 10k day was about 30% profit margins, but for the whole of Q1, the average profit margin was 20%. So, just over $50,000, which, is nice in the space of 2 months or so. But obviously, I'm going to make another video soon, going much more into depth of product research and finding winning competitors and how you can do it too and literally get started. But if you have any more questions, shoot me a message, shoot a comment. And appreciate the watch.